In my opinion, I believe this is the largest economic shift in human history that is taking place because a lot of money gonna move away from the sidelines, fiat currency, and they're gonna go in stable coins and cryptocurrency as a way to hedge against inflation, but also to 2x, 3x, 4x, and 5x, and 10x their money.
No matter how you choose to look at it, all that is obvious is the clear collapse that is coming. Your savings, your retirement, your job, it could all be at risk. Because if US bonds fail, everything built on top of them would come crashing down.
The House of Representatives in the United States passed the Genius Act. President Donald Trump signed the Genius Act.
This is not an auto pen, by the way. Which is a big scandal. If that were a Republican, it would really be a big scandal. But it is one of the great scandals of our time. Thank you very much, everybody.
The Genius Act now has become law to make Bitcoins, stablecoins, and cryptocurrency legal in America. In this video, I just want to highlight some of the good things about the Genius Act, but also I am using this medium to kind of rally the troops of the tectonic financial change that will be taking place.
Stablecoins will be a huge efficiency gains. There's no reason at all if I were to send you $1 on Venmo or on any other payment mechanism, I think it gets to you instantaneously, but it takes 3 days, 4 days, 5 days to get to you for no reason at all.
Yeah.
And the efficiency gains, productivity gains are going to be really enormous and great for the macro environment we're in.
And if you stay comfortable, I assure you, you more than likely will end up on the wrong side of the financial chain.
I mean, think about it. Right now, all the payments that we do in the American economy operate under 20th century technology. So we're right on the verge of a payment revolution as a result of the Genius Act.
This is why I am encouraging all of you to go and open up your investment account and also open up your crypto account and invest in your stocks and also your crypto.
So right now, stablecoin issuers around the world are the 16th largest holders of U.S. Treasuries. By some estimations, stablecoin issuers will become the largest holders of stablecoins, bigger than China, bigger than Japan, and I think that's critical at this point of high debt in the U.S. economy.
This will be the digital currency for the 21st century. However, what I love about the Genius Act, it is anti-CBDC, anti-central bank digital currency.
Bitcoin has set multiple all-time record highs because everyone knows that I'm committed to making America the crypto capital. We want to stay at the forefront of everything, and one of them is crypto.
Because as you know, many countries are replacing their fiat with central bank digital currency, a currency I don't like.
They're now saying the quiet part out loud about the creation of a central bank digital currency. Take a listen.
So it would not be anonymous. It would not be an anonymous bearer instrument. We would be looking to balance privacy protection with identity verification, which has to be done, of course, in today's traditional banking system.
I mean, you just heard him say it. You don't have to listen to me. Joining me now is cryptocurrency expert and the author of Undressing Bitcoin, Leah Halper. Leah, thanks so much for joining us. You know, you've been sounding the alarm about these central bank digital currencies for a while. Me as well. It's a big concern. This is the ultimate surveillance tool, isn't it?
Absolutely, and anonymity isn't even the worst of our problems. The worst of our problems is the fact that it's going to be programmable. Because it is digital, it means the money can be programmed to be spent in any way in which the central bank or the government decides. So one of my particular concerns is the World Economic Forum, because they're talking about implementing a carbon allowance. Now, this means each individual will be given a certain amount of, whether it's credit or whatever it is, carbon that they are allowed to emit. And how do they implement that? Through a central bank digital currency. currency. So if I buy too many plane tickets, or if I buy too much meat, because those things are all supposedly very bad for the environment, my money when I go to fill up my car could then be declined. So now they're literally controlling what we can and can't do with our money. It's also important to realize that the money can expire. So during times of economic uncertainty, central banks love to print lots and lots of money, which causes inflation. But we could get to a point where they say, instead of printing money, guys, you have to spend at least 10% of your savings in the next 3 months. If you don't spend that money in the next 3 months, then that money is going to expire. And if you can't save money, well, then you can't build long-lasting generational wealth. You're always going to be a slave to the system. And, I don't think people really understand the severity of this. Money is literally the energy which fuels your life. If you don't have freedom of money, you don't have freedom of anything. Dan, I know you talk about the Second Amendment. If they don't need to necessarily get rid of the Second Amendment, but they can just say they can program your money so that you can't actually go and buy a gun. So again, it really is the most tyrannical form of surveillance we will ever see. When they control the money, they control the wealth.
However, here is my disclaimer as usual. I am not a financial advisor. I cannot tell you what to do. You have to make that decision on your own. But if I were you, I would go and open up my investment account with my regular bank. You can go and open up your cash investment account, which is your brokerage account. And if you're in Canada, you can also open up your TFSA account, your registered account, where you can trade stocks through your TFSA and also your RRSP, your registered retirement saving plan.
This law could flip the finance industry upside down. And most people, they don't even see it coming. On the surface, you might think that the Genius Act is just about regulating stablecoins. And while, yes, that's true, it's really the gateway to so much more. It's about establishing the rails for a fully tokenized financial system. And most people haven't even connected the dots yet. Here's what happens if this passes into law. Number one is banks won't be the only institutions issuing digital money anymore. Nope. Now fintech and blockchain companies will finally have regulated paths to issue stable liquidity and asset-backed tokens. And this will do way more than just legitimize stablecoins. It's going to open up the floodgates to tokenizing real-world assets. Like we're talking real estate, stocks, bonds, private equities, even invoices or fine art. Like, just take a minute and think about it. If you can digitize a dollar, then why can't you digitize a mortgage or a $10 million building, a birth certificate, a university degree, medical records, concert tickets? Should I keep going? This is how the next era of finance begins. Fractionalized ownership of assets, 24/7 trading and settlement, lower fees, less friction, and direct access for retail investors to markets that were only reserved historically for ultra wealthy. And here's what I think. Don't expect Wall Street to just roll over and let it happen easily. The system, it doesn't give up power without a fight. And well, actually, I guess that's what's been happening over the past 5 years. But now that they got their ducks in a row and all lined up, oh man. While the Genius Act seems pro-innovation, it's also a way to contain that innovation within these regulatory walls. So yes, this is a huge win for blockchain, but it's also a move to domesticate the digital frontier to bring it under institutional control. And if you're smart about it, that's a huge opportunity. And the ones who understand the power and potential of tokenized RWA and position early, well, they're probably going to love their life in the next 5 to 10 years. This is way bigger than just a stablecoin bill. This is the new architecture for money.
This Genius Act will move finance from the fiat rail, where they print money and there's nothing backing it, and it will move over to the stablecoin and the crypto rails. Now, many people are saying that, okay, well, digital currency is not backed by anything. So does the fiat currency. From 1971, when President Nixon took the US dollar off the gold standard, basically what we're using in transaction is literally fiat money. So yes, cryptocurrency is not backed by anything. However, the shift, I believe, in my opinion, will make a lot of millionaires and also a lot of billionaires.
When we bought Bitcoin, we bought 250 million. No public company had ever bought any. People thought we were crazy. So then we bought another 175 million. People thought we were crazy. Then we bought 600 million more. People said, you can't stand on it. It'll destroy you. It's like standing on a bridge made of steel. And I concluded, it's the perfect engineered material to solve our problem, but people are living in fear. And how are we going to get them to not be fearful? And I was reminded of Andrew Carnegie's example. It's like, build the bridge, go stand out in the middle of the bridge. You build an airplane, fly the airplane. Show people that it's not going to break. That's what MicroStrategy did. We said, well, if it's good for 100 million, it's good for $1 billion. If it's good for $1 billion, we might as well go for 4 billion. Right? And at some point, people will realize that they have more to fear by not embracing this technology than by embracing it.
The reality is that, do you want to be on the critic sideline, the armchair critic, or do you want to get your skins in the game and make some money? Here's the reason why I said that. This is the largest financial transfer in the history of mankind. As you are aware, President Trump has given the Fed's chairman, Jerome Powell, hell.
I think if Jerome Powell stepped down, it would be a great thing. I don't know that he's going to, but he should. Jerome Powell's been very bad for our country. We should have the lowest interest rate on earth, and we don't. He just refuses to do it, and yet he's spending $2.5 billion rebuilding the Fed, the Federal Reserve building. And I don't.
He wants to lower interest rate because in America, the average 30-year mortgage is about maybe 6.5%. This is why you see housing sales have stalled in America and also Canada, because the average person will not make any money and can't afford a 6.5 interest rate mortgage. So President Trump said, Jerome Powell, lower interest rate.
You're telling me he's going to quit. I hope he quits. I don't know if he's going to quit, but he should quit because he's been very bad for the country.
Rate. However, based on economics, which I am not versed in, you can't just lower interest rate by your free will. You have to look at the job market, at the GDP index. You also have to look at inflation to be able to balance the economy so you don't have too much money down in the hands of the average person who just spend widely and don't invest.
Right now, the US government is spending more money paying interest on its debt than it spends on the entire military. In 2025, interest payments are expected to reach $952 billion. That's more than the $859 billion the US spends to defend the country.
Based on Donald Trump's persistence, I believe without a doubt, is either Jerome Powell lower interest rate or more than likely he will replace him. And if interest rate goes down, a whole lot of money will be generated in the real estate market.
We have a bad Fed chairman, really bad. If he would lower the rates, and I tried being nice to the guy, it doesn't help. He's like a knucklehead. No, he's a knucklehead, this guy. He really is. You know, each point, think of this, each point costs us $360 billion.
I believe house prices will skyrocket, and I also believe that there will be more developers actually building condominiums and housing complexes will stimulate the overall economy. So this is why I said that yes, it's good for lowering interest rate. It will bring more foreign investors into America. The other side is that there are a lot of money that are sitting on the sideline, like the treasury / bonds, money in mutual fund, just lazy money that is getting small interest rate. Now, if you lower interest rate, a whole lot of billions and trillions will move over now to what you call the crypto industry, the stablecoin industry, and it actually will boom the economy.
You are going to see a crack in the bond market, okay? It is going to happen.
What if the one thing everyone believes is completely safe, US government bonds, starts to fall apart? The retirement funds of millions of people in the US and abroad depend on the reliability of US bonds. Trillions of dollars from foreign countries are invested in the US Treasuries. Unfortunately, the signs are clear that the US bond market will not survive for long, and when it eventually collapses, the disaster will end global economics as we know it. The bond market has become unstable. Interest rates are rising fast, and people are starting to panic.
Now, you there who are sitting on the sideline are skeptical. I mean, it's a lot of control, it's change. And I've learned that the only thing that's constant in the universe is change. And what I've also learned that what people hate the most is change. So you can keep sitting on the sideline, or you can go and open up your account. Like I said again, I can't tell you what to do. But based on history, the working class people, a lot of people of my ethnicity, we are reactionary. We like to react. We are not proactive. And every economic shift that you can remember for the past 100 years, working class people, black people get hammered the most. That is why I am taking the initiative away from my wonderful comfort that I would say my return on investment, the stock market, has blessed me with, to make this video for you. Because, as the saying goes, is either you lead, follow, or you simply get out the way. In my opinion, I believe this is the largest economic shift in human history that is taking place, because a lot of money gonna move away from the sidelines, fiat currency, and they're gonna go in stable coins and cryptocurrency as a way to hedge against inflation, but also to 2x, 3x, 4x, and 5x, and 10x their money.
Some say Ripple could be the next Bitcoin. What do you think, Brad? Is that a compliment that Ripple could be the next Bitcoin?
Well, I think if we're solving a real problem and it's at scale, then I think it's a compliment. I think the most important thing that is going on in crypto is understanding what is real and what is just hype. Some, I think, may look back on Bitcoin and find that it was the Napster of digital assets. What I mean by that is Napster was the first to digitize music and demonstrate, hey, if you digitize music, you can do a lot of cool things with that. But ultimately, they were circumventing trademark laws, they were circumventing royalty payments, and government stepped in, and Napster was not successful. But Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, they were very successful. I think what you'll find is that maybe the next generation of digital assets ends up solving some of the original problems that Bitcoin set out to solve.
So RippleNet is trying to take on Swift. What's been the traction like? Who's come on board?
Well, it's interesting as you step back and look at this. If you and I decided we were going to send $10,000 to California today, the fastest way for us to do it would be to drive to the airport and fly it there. That's a crazy thing to think about when you're in the age of the internet and we're used to information on demand. When we think about the customers that have come on board, it's because we're solving that real problem. We're changing the nature of a payment taking days to settle to California to seconds.
But I've also learned that faith without works is dead. People, as usual, Jamcat is out. And it's the new economic shift I and I talking about. People, I'll see you in the next video.